Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. Filing those taxes. It was the same for more than 3 decades, right? But late last year, the new Trump tax law took effect, and according to experts here, it is a whole new ball game. So here to explain is Jim Lineweaver, president of Lineweaver Financial. It is good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So it is a different ball game with this.
Whole different ball game. This is the biggest change in the tax laws in over 30 years. So it's a lot for people to comprehend, and especially right now with only about 6 weeks left in the year, you really have to do some good tax planning if you want to get everything in for 2018.
Well, you're stressing me out, but that's why we have you here, so that you can help us not stress, right? So what is the first thing then that people should start considering?
Well, the first thing is you really want to have good coordination, okay? Because you got to have the right hand talking to the left hand, or all your advisors. So specifically in year-end tax planning, you want your financial advisor to talk to your accountant and make sure you come together as a team in order to make sure that you're kind of taking advantage of every deduction you possibly can. And we're going to talk about some of those other ones today too. But you really have to take a team approach, because let's say your financial advisor tells you to do something, it may not coordinate with your accountant side, and vice versa. So you really have to make sure that your team comes together for you.
And you did mention again, do not wait until the end of the year.
Yes.
That's huge to keep in mind, which I feel like it is. It's only a few weeks away.
It is, yeah.
Keep that in mind. I know there's a lot going on in your lives right now, but we do want to stay on top of that. What about maximizing the deferred accounts that you have? Okay,
well, you may only have 3 or 4 pays left in the year, right? So in order to max out all your retirement plans, because people under the age of 50 can put in $18,500 into their 401k or 403bs or 457s, and then you get an additional $6,000 catch-up if you're over age 50. But it has to be through payroll deductions. So if you look at your pay stub, most recent one, and if you're not on track to max that out, make your adjustments right now so that you can get all that in by the end of the year, because it's deducting with federal and state taxes that you save, which are the biggest taxes in a given year.
So that is in the sense with bunching all of your deductions into 1 year.
That's a little different.
That's a little different.
So this was just maximizing your tax deferred account. No problem.
Okay.
So when you're maximizing these deferred accounts, okay, and also an HSA comes to mind for healthcare, so that you got to get your contributions in the calendar year. Okay. Now bunching deductions is something totally different. So when you bunch deductions, see what happens is in the sweeping tax law changes, all our standard deductions doubled. So if you're an individual, you're around $12,000 as a standard deduction. If you're a married couple filing jointly, you have about $24,000 in deductions. So not a lot of people are going to be itemizing anymore. But let's say you have this big health care problem that you have to take care of, and let's say you can push it into next year. So then maybe you won't make your charitable contributions this year, push it into next year. So add your medical, add your charitable deductions. It may get you over that standard deduction so that you can deduct more from your taxes, and then the following year go back to your standard.
So now how do you turn losses into wins? This is I want to hear from you.
Okay. Well, what ends up happening is through the end of the year, you can do what's called tax loss harvesting. So the market's been very volatile, right?
It sure has.
So with that, take a look at your portfolio. If you're seeing some negatives on your statement, and you probably have some wins too, if you trigger this in 2018, maybe you sell some gains and sell some losses to offset, or if something else was sold prior in the year, so you already have some realized gains, then look at your portfolio, offset gains with losses, so at the end of the year, you don't have to pay a ton of capital gains taxes maybe when your portfolio was down. Specifically, if you look at like international and emerging markets, they've been kind of losing more ground than the domestic market. So that's maybe where you want to look at first. But when you do offset the short-term gains and losses with long-term, you can take an additional $3,000 off your taxes, or as a deduction, if you do it in 2018. You can't do it in 19.
This is why we need the experts to help us. So how can people get in touch with you and set something up?
Well, we have our show on Sunday mornings. If they
every
want to
Sunday
tune
morning.
into that. Yep, right before the Chris Wallace show.
He's the financial quarterback. You know that, right? So it's every Sunday morning. So that's a great way to really learn a lot and gain a lot of information from you as well.
And then they can also call us or get on our website if they'd like to get a hold of us.
Well, hey, thank you for joining us, Jim. And if you are looking to help more with any of that, keep in mind, Chris Wallace, right before that show, he's going to be on, and all the help you need. Clearly, I need some help, so maybe I'll be giving you a call as well, my friend. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure having you here.